Well, in other news, Vice President Kashim Shettima has called for enhanced collaboration between the government and the media industry for Nigeria's development. He made the call during a meeting with the Nigerian Guild of Editors at the State House in Abuja. The Vice President emphasized the media's vital role in promoting unity and economic growth, pledging government support to sustain quality journalism amidst current economic challenges. Shettima urged editors to maintain objectivity in their reporting and work together for the nation's progress. NGE President, that's Eze Anaba, acknowledged the Vice President's commitment to transparency in governance and shared details about the upcoming 20th All Nigeria Editors Conference set for November 7th to the 9th in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Anaba stressed the media's readiness to partner with the government while upholding its independence and democratic principles. For a chat on Vice President Shettima's call for synergy between the government and the media and how both can collaborate for national development, I should say, we're now being joined by Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for being here.
Now,
of course, the Vice President is calling for media synergy, and critics argue that this could compromise media independence. Just wondering how you think we could balance cooperation with media's watchdog role without creating a culture of self-censorship.
Self-censorship. You see, you are thrown in so many concepts now, but I will ignore them for now.
Okay.
What is trying to ask for is cooperation. Synergy is cooperation, very, very good cooperation. In management, they say 2 + 2 makes 5 in synergy, so you can imagine what he's trying to say there. But the important thing is that there must be cooperation between government and the media, but it is a delicate balance. The analogy I will give are twofold. You see, government must communicate its intention to the media for it to propagate or criticize it. You hear me? Propagate or criticize it, or do both at the same time, depending on the content. If you look at this day yesterday, the Ministry of Finance Incorporated put out a 2-page advert on Nigeria infrastructure deficit, and now we intend to bridge that gap. That's the sort of information that government should give out for the public to know, so that they can do a roadmap for government. You say this, walk your talk, or you are not doing it. Unlike the sort of situation we have before the elections, if you can remember. But then, what he's saying is that campaigning, electioneering is gone. So let government and governance take place and criticize government, but do it objectively. You see, the analogy I will give is what happened during the Cold War, when there was, the war was divided between the Soviet Union for socialism and the USA and the Western world. There was something they called them mutual deterrence. They know the arsenal of each other, so there is a balance. You get me? There's mutual respect. Balance of terror, if you have to put it that way. But they respect each other. It's about competence now. Government should be competent and responsive and responsible in a democracy. But it is the media that must keep it on its toes to do that. The media should not get too chummy with the government. It's so that it becomes subservient. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. The government too should not be too high-handed. I should be called, what's the latest thing now? Fascist. You know what is going on in the US? Trump calling Kamala fascist and Biden. In fact, in Turkey suspended Instagram over this Middle East crisis because he said they cannot even show pictures of Palestinian martyrs. In Turkey and some Islamic places, they regard Hamas and the PLO, they regard them as martyrs, nationalists. Whereas in other parts of the world, you call them terrorists. That is, you see subjectivity, holding sway over objectivity. The way I was brought up in journalism, and the way I think journalism should be practiced, is how to balance this. When I was in Daily Times, you can't write a story for my boss there and say, these people are totally bad. He said, you don't do that. There's nobody is totally bad. balance it, 4-1, 3-2, whatever.
All right, Mr.
That's
Sobowale, I know there's still so much to say, but we're really pressed for time. And I'm really interested in the part where the Vice President said or pledged the government's support for the media. And I would like to place that on the backdrop of reports of clampdown on journalists, especially this report by the World Press Freedom Index, saying that in August only, no fewer than 56 journalists were harassed and attacked, especially during the anti-government protests that happened. I'd like to know if there are ways how you'd assess this government in the area of supporting journalists, the media, and what more they can do to ensure that this support is actually practicalized.
I don't know what you mean by practicalized, but what they are saying there. You see, some people are watchdogs on us. We are watchdogs internally on our government, but these people talking, there are people bringing in the statistics. Yes, it is their own job to monitor the media. And if they feel government is inadequate or government is high-handed, they are at liberty to say it. But what we are discussing here is a government official asking for synergy. Let us tackle that first. How is that possible? And I'm saying that the synergy is just like freedom of speech now. So your freedom ends where my nose begins. There's no absolute freedom. There should not be absolute cooperation with government so that you don't see anything bad in government, or you can't criticize government, and at the same time, you don't kowtow. You see, you don't submit totally. You don't submit totally to government. It is the duty of the media as a fourth estate of the realm to call government to order. And in the democracy, which is what we are here, dissent is allowed. See, the party in power is supposed to have its way. But there must be the opposition must have its way in criticizing it. And it should not put the big foot down on the opposition. That's democracy. That's what he's trying to say. Get me? And I don't read his mind, but obviously he's trying to say that we'll do our bit, but criticize us, but
yes, but do you think they are giving the media the support needed to do their job as the fourth realm of the estate? Or fourth estate of the realm?
fact that we are talking here is part of government like this too.
All right.
You get me? In totalitarian regime, you can't do that. You get me? You can't criticize government in some places, but we are at it here. And she can testify during the campaigns. You know what we did to each other here in terms of analysis. So I'm still proud of our quality of freedom of the press. Get me? You don't need Shettima to come and tell us that. But he's just trying to tell us to be up and doing. And hopefully we expect government to be up and doing in living up to its manifesto, putting food on the table for Nigerians. If it doesn't, you take it to task.
Fabulous. And on that note, we'd like to thank you for your analysis. As always, the Rise News analyst, Mr. Dayo, many thanks for being here. Thank you.